Hi everyone, I am here with Grant from TorFX.
Yep.
And as you know, I'm Mina Baselyous from Pinnacle Accounting and Advisory. And we're here to talk to Grant about FX, foreign exchange. So Grant, tell us a little bit more about what FX is and why do we need it?
Fantastic. Thanks for the opportunity, Mina.
Absolute pleasure to have you with us.
Great to be in. So FX, obviously the international payments, whenever you're sending money across borders or receiving money from overseas, why would you deal with TorFX and how can we add value to that transaction? In reality, we're a global business that compete quite heavily with some fintech groups and also major institutions. There's a lot of reasons. For example, you may be leaving money on the table anywhere from 1 to 5% more usually with a major institution, or you may be dealing with a fintech and getting a good rate, which we can definitely compete on those rates. But the reality is you can't have a high level service that we will offer through our award-winning account managers, or often known as FX dealers.
Mate, we're already a few seconds into the video and you're talking some big numbers there.
Yep.
Wow. Yep. Okay. I can't wait for you to talk more into it. But before we get deeper into the topic of forex, foreign exchange.
Yep.
I'm just curious, why do you do what you do? Why foreign exchange?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, foreign exchange for me, it was actually the business that attracted me in particular, and just the global focus. So we're in 5 continents. We're head office out of Canary Wharf in London. We have many staff in India and South Africa, Spain, the US, and the other element around it was a fintech focus. So having come from a strong banking finance background over 20 years, the fintech and global orientation of TorFX really attracted me dramatically.
So you like to step outside your comfort zone?
Yeah.
Or like to think big picture.
I like to take
border.
I like to take the right risks. Yeah.
I like that. We're talking about finance, so we've got to mention the right risk.
Yeah.
Calculated risks.
Yep.
Beautiful. That's how people grow. So tell me, foreign exchange. What type of foreign exchange are we talking about? International payments in relation to currencies, the products and the services that you provide?
Yeah, definitely. So we've seen a great deal of volatility recently in currency globally. In particular, the Aussie has really suffered recently. So what we're talking about is all those major pairings that you might come across if you had some experience or some frame of reference. But we're also talking about a lot of other currencies, so over 40 in particular, and some of them can be quite unique. So having access to someone who has a high level of experience and who's really at the point in from a pricing and service kind of connection, you can really maximise your benefit there.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of foreign exchange and international payments, what are we using it for?
Yeah, great. Yeah, great question. So
what type of transactions?
Yeah. One of the big things that we see consistently is property transactions. So you might be migrating into Australia. We're seeing with, we've had a lot of noise about per capita receptions, and if we strip out the migrants, then potentially we're right in that spot. So I won't speak to that. I'm not an economist, but certainly that's one element. So we see another big area for us is accountants, and we love to support. We actually got a network of 5,000 accountants and advisors globally that we support.
Yeah.
So we've got some real credential and rhythm around how to engage with professionals and their clients and really serve them to make sure that they're maximising their cash flow, maximising their capital. So preservation is critical for us, and how can we support you in your transaction efficiently? And it could be as simple, if you're a home buyer, to maximise that funds to complete, or make sure that you can go a little bit further on that investment property you might be looking at abroad.
Okay, there you go. So investment property overseas.
Yeah.
Transferring funds, so migrating, say, to Australia.
Yep.
And you look to bring your funds to Australia. And as we know, Australia's actually quite heavily dependent on migration for growth.
Oh, absolutely. And some of those migrants, they work incredibly hard here, and we've got a rich history of and foundation of migration in Australia, and a lot of them will want to send funds back home.
Yes,
There's an incredible amount of trading businesses that are regularly looking at stock or other things that they need and have a requirement around. So there's you start to scratch the surface, and some of you have direct application right now, but it is an area of the market that it's good to be educated around, because
100%. I guess things like, I'm a manufacturing organisation, and I want to buy manufacturing plant as in machinery from overseas, because say the rates here or the product is too costly. Maybe I've done a cost benefit analysis and I thought, you know what, it probably is better to go overseas and get products from overseas. How do I go about doing that? Well, you need foreign exchange to buy that. And so that will be a good opportunity to also look at foreign exchange,
Absolutely. And many of you may not realise that Victoria is actually the nation's capital of manufacturing. So we do have some quite large manufacturers here. Saw a bus just go by La Trobe Street the other day that said it's 100% electric and made in Melbourne. So there's a bit of pride with creators and founders. And I know I'm speaking to some of you today that you're entrepreneurial, or you're wanting to build something. At some point, you're going to need a professional who can support you around, how do I manage exchange rate risk? How can I hedge against some of these potential trades that are coming up? Just so I don't get bitten with rates moving, or because often we have a more global view around interest rates and how they interconnect and economic factors. So if you're not across those things, you do have specialists who are watching them regularly and can support you around key decisions in your business or your personal life.
Fantastic. And I think in terms of buying things like machinery from overseas, it's good to get your advisor to do a cost-benefit analysis and find out overall if this is going to help your organisation move forward. Sometimes people get stuck in terms of, okay, well, I can't get into this, I can't produce this product because there's nothing, say, in Australia that can help me. But have those conversations with your advisors, and they have a vast network of other professionals that they assist and who assist them. Right.
Yeah.
So it's always about working in collaboration. So we're all winning together, all moving forward together.
Sounds good.
More questions for you.
Yeah, dive in. Yeah.
How have you helped clients? Can you give us some examples in terms of what was their issue?
Yeah.
What did they buy? And in terms of the rates and their wins.
Yeah.
How through their issue. Yeah.
So I've got a few, and look, I have to admit up front, some of the property examples can be a bit exaggerated because some of those numbers can be quite large. Obviously, the wealth transactions as well. Sometimes those transactions, whether they're coming out of a SMSF or coming out of another investment vehicle, could be pensions from the UK that we're doing remittances for. So there's a range of things that can be quite large in dollar volume. It's not that we aren't available to small transactions. We absolutely are, but just hold your buckle up, because some of these figures might surprise you. We had a New Zealand to Aussie 1.506 million transaction recently, where we're able to save the client 35,000 AUD. So just in comparison against rates where their current supplier. And we stepped up to save them that. Another key that we had was USD to AUD, a 2.6 million property purchase. We were actually able to save that client 76,000 in New Zealand currency. So outstanding result. We really want to stress that there's a strong service proposition. There's a high level that goes into how we do what we do, but this is our speciality. So, and it's not to bash the banks outright. It's more a case of understanding the way the market works. A lot of the major institutions get their funding, and their debt is where they make their margin. So FX can be an auxiliary service to them. It isn't the core of what they do. So with TorFX and our broader parent group, Redpin, we are 100% focused around how can we offer savings and time and money to you and provide an outstanding service, which fortunately CanStar and Trustpilot have really been kind to us, and our clients love us, which is great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, I want to ask you, in terms of products, what kind of products can we get? So, for example, I want to buy FX now, or I have a transaction right now that I need foreign exchange for. So, getting the particular currency and buying the item with it, or whether it's an item or a service. Or can I hedge and buy funds now? Or can I have a contract in place now to lock in funds for a particular point in time, particular period of time, where I can then exchange it over?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great question, Mina. And look, the reality is, yes, you can have all of those things, and that's really the nuance and the advisory piece around a transaction. That if you've had a limited experience, it's more about getting money to a destination. That's what we know as our spot rate. So that's the rate on the day. You accept that rate and you transfer those funds through our banking accounts. You've got a virtual account, so you can see what's happening there. There is self-service options and tech platforms, but we also find that when clients are doing something through a large transaction or maybe a unique currency, then they actually like to speak to someone.
They need a little bit of that hand-holding.
Appreciate a little service. Yeah, a little bit. And it's just the understanding of the market and the different things that could impact that trade. And if you have a little bit of time up your sleeve, you might go, well, okay, I can see, this account manager that I'm speaking to, whether it's, Eddie or Adam or Monica or whoever it might be in the group, they can be looking at it, and they're highly experienced. They've been doing this for over a decade each, these guys. And they can say, all right, well, I actually think, it might be good to hold for a little while because we can see there's some economic data that could be in your favour. You're not going to know that necessarily because you're not watching the global markets. These guys are watching this like a hawk regularly. They can't predict exactly what's going to occur, so don't get it twisted. They don't have that crystal ball, but what they do have is a great deal of experience and an outstanding team. So that's a little bit of a snapshot on what the spot rate is. The forward contract, when you're a little bit more time, you could, it's almost similar in a way to, I guess, the relationship of a fixed rate versus a variable rate. So you're kind of saying, okay, I'm going to lock this contract in, and I'm going to accept it at that level. And then you have the opportunity to really go a little more granular and actually limit your orders or stop loss. So you can actually set limits above a certain point. So if the market doesn't move, it doesn't engage that limit. And if it doesn't drop, it doesn't engage that. But if you basically are saying, okay, this is kind of my break even almost, if I use that accounting term, and that's where I need this transaction to occur. So if the market were to fall dramatically and your capital was exposed, having those limit orders could be critical. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, that was a long answer. I'm sorry.
That was good. So we can definitely choose to say, for example, the AUD has moved favorably against the USD. And say now it's sitting at 85 cents. I know we're quite a bit away from that. Or maybe, in a month, it was still going to be that rate, but we're not sure, obviously, because we're looking forward. Can we do something like locking in that rate where at that particular date, I pay the AUD and I get my USD at that rate?
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, so you can definitely lock those types of things in, which is good. And one of the beauties of having an account manager that you have access to. So, and I'm not going to mention some of our tech competitors, but they have a version of that, but it's not really at the same level. Some of these great account managers, FX dealers will have a group of clients who may be sitting on Aussie, for example. Now, a recent example that some of you that have mortgages might have remembered, the November rate rise, and for you that was a period where you go, oh, another one. And it was the last one that we had, meaning I won't get into the debate of whether it should or should not have occurred. Mina can share his view on that one. Well, that's another session. But in reality, when that rate went up it was actually a positive bump for the Aussie. So we saw a lot of people that were holding Aussie transact on that time. So they were straight in, really, really great day for those that had kind of been sitting and wait for that movement. So that's a really critical element. It's quite different to some of the instruments or vehicles or products that you may be used to, and understanding that dynamic is a great piece from an education information standpoint. But in reality, from an outcome focus, we are talking about real money that you can maximise.
Yeah. And the reason why interest rates going up can be a bit of a pain for us, but beneficial for the country in terms of exports.
Yes,
because we get better rates. Why is that? Because when the interest rates increase, people actually want to take their funds, exchange whatever currency they have for AUD, and leave it in our banks.
Yeah, spot on. They'll get a better return.
That creates a high demand on the AUD, which means the price of the AUD increases.
Correct.
So that's the economics part of that as to why that happens.
And sometimes the market punishes the central bank when they strongly believe that rates should be higher than they are. New Zealand's a great example of that. They went higher faster than the RBA, certainly we've had examples of that in the US as well. But it's an interesting dynamic for sure. Yeah,
fantastic. Is there anything else you want to mention to us? Any key points, things we should remember?
Yeah, look, there's quite a bit that we could dive into around the cost piece. People are always like, well, how do you guys make money? We don't charge fees. So what we do is we, because of the bulk and the level of transactions that we have, we ultimately have a wholesale rate that we acquire currency at, and then we load a margin to it. So that's where we make our revenue, if you like, and there's no fee structure that we are hitting clients with. So ultimately, you're getting a service that is no obligation or cost involved. It may even be a situation where you've got an incumbent that you're really happy with, and I'm always happy to hear those stories because we are relationship driven. So if you've got a good source and you just need a second opinion to find out whether they are as sharp as they used to be, then that's a perfect opportunity where you could reach out to Tor, reach out to Mina or myself, and we can put you in touch with someone who can say, yep, you are getting outstanding rates. You might be affected by the fact that, Westpac's pulled its premium service, or that Amex jumped out of this space. You may have been using those facilities for a number of years. We're here to support with a transition and make sure that you've got a strong professional team to help you manage this function.
Fantastic. Grant, how do we reach out to you?
Excellent. Yeah. So my details will be available. I might pop it in the comments as well.
Yes, we'll put it up on the video.
Yeah, we'll put that in. Email and mobile will be available there, and we can make a transfer through to the team. Probably the easier option as well, that's a little more efficient, is we can create backlinks. We can also do QR codes. So you can distribute that to the guys, and if and when a need comes up in the future, so it might not be every day, might be once every 3 or 6 months, then you can go, oh, okay, I did have something, I filed that away, I'll jump in, and then if you can't find it, just reach out to us.
We'll include a video too also on YouTube, and when we're putting the videos up on the various social media platforms.
Yeah, perfect.
Once again, thank you very much. Maybe next time we can talk about politics, the interest rates. What other topics do you like to talk about?
Look, poverty is a big one for me. I'm keen to try and eradicate that. But
wow, okay.
No, look, there's many things that we could take a tangent in and have a good chat about. But thanks for indulging us this amount of time. And Mina, I just want to say thanks for the opportunity. It's been great to connect, and we really look forward to serving you. So please don't hesitate to reach out if there's anything we can support you around your AirFX and international payment needs.
And this is why we do these videos. It's about education, showing people that there are different options they could look at and investigate, make sure it works well for them, and then reach out to people and get that service that they deserve.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much again.
Thanks, mate.
All right, everyone. See ya. Thank you very much.